You know that feeling, right? You get a brilliant idea for an app, but then you hit that wall, I can't code. Well, a new way of creating software is getting a ton of attention, and it might just change everything. It's called vibe coding. So let's dive into how this whole new approach could turn your ideas into reality, even if you're not a professional coder.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if you could just skip all the complicated syntax and just describe what you want in plain English, and then watch it actually come to life? Well, that's the big promise we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Section 1. What is vibe coding? We're going to break down how you can go from just a thought in your head to a working app, and yeah, often without ever touching a single line of code yourself. At its heart, vibe coding is basically a conversation. Instead of writing a script line by line, you get to be the director. You tell an actor, in this case the AI, what you want the scene to look like. The AI builds it, you give feedback, and you just go back and forth until the vision is right. You focus on the what, and the AI handles the how.
The name itself actually came from technologist Andrej Karpathy, and his whole point was that AI is getting so good that we can stop treating code like some rigid instruction manual we have to write by hand. Instead, we can think of it more like a searable draft that we can shape and guide. It's all about the vibes.
This slide right here really nails the shift in roles. With traditional coding, you're the author, right? You're meticulously writing every single line. But with vibe coding, you become the director. Your job isn't laying every single brick, it's describing the final building and guiding the AI that's doing the heavy lifting.
Okay, so that's the what. But now for the big question, why? In Section 2, we'll get into why this is such a big deal, and it really comes down to two things that are changing the game: speed and accessibility.
Yeah, it really boils down to these two huge advantages. First, speed. I mean, something that used to take days or even weeks, like building a first version of an app, can now potentially be done in just hours. And second, accessibility. This is a massive one. It just throws the doors wide open for anyone who doesn't have a formal programming background. And this is exactly who we're talking about. Founders who want to test an idea, marketers who need a quick landing page, students working on a project. All of a sudden, the power to create software isn't locked behind years of training. It's right there for you to use. So this all sounds pretty cool in theory, but how does it actually work in the real world? Let's get to the fun part. What could you actually build with this, and how could you get started, like today?
Just think about it for a sec. You could whip up a personal website to show off your work, or maybe a simple little app to track your workouts. Got a business idea? You could build a landing page to see if people are interested in an afternoon. These are real, tangible things that are suddenly within reach for so many more people.
So if you want to give this a try, where do you start? First, please start small. Don't try to build the next Instagram. Just build one simple feature, like a button that does one thing. Second, you have to be super clear in your description. The AI can't read your mind. Third, test everything right away. Click all the things. And finally, stay in charge. Make the AI explain what it did. That's how you learn and keep control of the project.
And this is so important to remember. Vibe coding is not magic. It's an incredibly powerful tool, for sure, but the quality of what you get out is directly tied to the quality of what you put in. Vague ideas get you messy, unpredictable code. Clear, precise instructions, that's the key to getting a result you're actually happy with.
All right, but with any powerful new tech, there's always another side to the story. It's so important to understand not just the incredible potential here, but also the very real risks that come along with it.
Because look, as exciting as this all is, just jumping in blind can cause some serious problems. So let's take a minute to break down the risks you absolutely have to be aware of.
First, there's a big risk of false confidence. An app might look like it's working perfectly, but under the hood, it could be full of hidden bugs or major security flaws. Which leads right to the second point, security. An AI can absolutely accidentally write code that leaves your app and your user's data vulnerable. And finally, there's maintainability. Think of it like a car. It's one thing to have a car that runs, but if you have no idea how the engine works, you can't fix it when it breaks down. Same exact thing goes for AI-generated code. This table really lays out the right and wrong way to do this. Good vibe coding, it starts with a clear, specific goal, and you're constantly testing and giving feedback. The result is a prototype that you actually get. Bad vibe coding is when you just throw huge, vague ideas at the AI, trust it blindly, and end up with what we call a black box app. You know, it works on the outside, but it's a total mystery on the inside. You can't fix it, you can't improve it, and you definitely can't explain it.
So here's maybe the most important takeaway if you're just starting out. The skill is no longer just about building things from scratch. It's about becoming a great reviewer, a great director. Your job is to guide, to test, to question, and ultimately to make the final call on what's good enough.
Which kind of leaves us with this huge, fascinating question. Is this a fundamental shift in how we make things, opening up a whole new world of creation for everyone? Or is it just a really tempting shortcut that could end up creating more problems than it solves? The answer, I think, is probably going to depend on how well we all learn to be good directors.